All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. All right. Citation to you, Akim out there pushing this truth. All right. Shalom to you would-be judges, man, the elect. Shalom to the elect. Shalom to you free Aqua. Yahweh, meaning he exists. Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem, meaning coming in the name of. Yahweh Shai, meaning he delivers or he saves. Back at you with another lesson. All right. You know, I was watching, I'm always watching my elder Malcolm's lessons. He's so power packed with history and stuff like that, man. And I checked out this same video that he brought up with an Edomite woman speaking on how Edom is just so jealous and can't stand the greatness of Jake, even at his lower points, you know, because we are the tail, all right. But I won't ramble. But it's all showing right now. The wicked is being revealed. You can tell they can't get a grasp on their kingdom, all right, and it's bothering them, and it's a lot of shameful spewing going on, you know, and that's like the main thing that's happened. A lot of stuff that's happening is a lot of shameful spewing. Edomites being honest about their people and how their people feel, you know. And it's crazy how we go around in this world and they be like, I don't see color. What keeps this racism going is you keep talking about it and all this stuff, but they are the ones that created the racism. They are the ones that created the so-called black and white. And that's only a construct they created in Virginia, I think 1681, I believe. All right. And now they're being honest because it's always these atrocities with Jake being killed by groups of Edomites and stuff like that, back to back to back. They can't hide it anymore. You know, there's no hiding it. You can't whitewash everybody in the head with your white supremacy gaslighting anymore. You know, and we're not black. Black is just that means death. We are different shades of brown. All right. You know, just like Edomites, so-called white people, they're not white. You never seen a white. They're all red, different reds. Edom, they're red. So it's all trickery, you know, oxymorons that they speak on. But check it out. And if you can't hear it, read the captions, because this phone I have is kind of low. But check it out. The most attractive woman, I must admit. But here we go.
So hey Boo, I just had a thought. One of the reasons white people hate black people is because
I stand corrected. This Felicia person is not the woman that's speaking. Felicia is the content provider. It looks like she's a Jake. All right. If you just, at least in appearance, okay? So just want to correct that. I don't want to put out any misinformation. The woman speaking is not Felicia Carr, because I read it, you know. Felicia Carr is a content creator who put up her video. So here we go.
So hey Boo, I just had a thought. One of the reasons white people
You can see she's red and not white, right? Red.
because we cannot tolerate black joy. We cannot tolerate black intelligence. We cannot tolerate black beauty. We cannot tolerate
Which is an
black house cleaner, we can have a black teacher, we can have a black coach, we can have black players, but only for the specific things that we feel comfortable with. I think about all those sweet children that have been killed, murdered, when they go out with their white friends. And I think that as much as the trauma of slavery comes down through the DNA, I think also the cruelty of slavery, the desire to hurt, the desire to steal and kill and humiliate and torment and disappear
I just had a
black
dream
people
about that. Witnessed it.
is what comes down through the DNA. I think when you do something like that for long enough and you pass it down for the many years that slavery and enslaved people were in chains, that is an instinct with us, cruelty. And I think you can see it
Yes.
in many videos. All the white women and white men that are telling black kids and black families to get the hell out of here, you don't belong. We just don't want you to have more than us, honey. We just don't want you to be prettier. We don't want you to be the beauty standard. We don't want you to be judges or anything like that. We want
Penis
you
envy is real.
to be below us, beneath us.
You know those
And
Edomites that
we've tried so hard to keep you down,
sit
and
in
we fail so
scientific...
badly.
Hold on, let me just pause you for a minute.
Because like my Angela said,
That sit in laboratories and orchestrated science to shrink and create ED. So much that it's even affected their own men. All right, penis envy is real, and there really is a sign. A brother just did a video. The beloved brother ICR just did a video on spermageddon. So there really was an attack on black masculinity, so-called black masculinity, on men, period. But the real target was Jacob. All right, so much that they've affected them, that, you know, even their own men as well. Okay, but then you best believe Jacob was the real target. That's why there's so much ED, erectile dysfunction, something you never heard of 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Right now, there's a commercial on it's on television, it's on the internet, you know, non-stop, no matter what platform. There's gonna be some form of them trying to sell some sort of erectile, you know, medicine or a drug. All right, so they create the problem. They want to make money off of it. Then they give you these wonder pills that, you know, they give you back your rod like you 16, 17 years old again, only for it to destroy your liver, your kidneys, or give you a heart attack, or mess with your brain, all kind of other shit. So this man truly is the devil, man. And this woman goes on to say that she's ashamed of being white.
beat you, we may do those things, and it makes us crazy that you keep coming back and getting better. We can't stand it. I don't know why that is. I think I heard somebody say that white people are the ones that have the ancestors that were closely related to the apes. And I believe that.
Well, you
We
look more
are
like them than other people
so similar to Cro-Magnon man.
with them thin lips.
Neanderthals, we're fucking pale monsters.
Red. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment.
I really hate
There
being
she
white
is.
sometimes.
Oh, she hates being
I'm
white.
super ashamed.
Well,
I think things
you know,
like
we'll stop it there. Because, you know,
Yep. That's there you have it. shameful spewing, because she ended off saying, I'm super ashamed. Hopefully the listener can hear it. Shameful spewing is what's going on, because they were once happy to be killing Jake and happy to be in this glory of hatred, making postcards, made our skin into leather, feeding our babies to alligators, you know. But now it's shame. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. All right. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And that's what you see. We see countless videos of Edomites admitting their hatred and what they hate about Jake and why they implement hatred. But it's all spiritual. It's been a movie about Jacob and Esau this whole time that the Lord has put together. And Esau is jealous of the blessing. All right. Esau has that perpetual hatred. That's why the Lord said, never trust thine enemy, but perpetual hatred. All right. That's why they continuously keep shedding the blood of Jacob. They continuously keep doing it. All right. Because it's spiritual. All right. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Say, if thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. All right. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. All right. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, in thy hills and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers they shall fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolation, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. All right. The Lord ain't playing with these motherfuckers. That's why they're really setting their lot. You know, the more they get, they're getting really crazy at the moment, you know, and they don't really understand. What is that? Prepare. I haven't brought this out in a minute. All right. I haven't brought this out in a minute, man. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers. And that's talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man and his people. All right. Prepare slaughter for his children. All right. All right. They've been doing this for decades and decades, for over 400, 500 years, man. Generation after generation, man. All right. Enjoying the spoils of destroying Jake. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, son and nephew, saith the Lord. So he's talking about son and nephew. Those son and nephew. Those are the ones that's going to bring in the new generation. He's cutting them off right at them. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water. I will sweep it with the bosom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts. All right. It's coming, man. And you can see it if you have eyes to see. All right. I think I got some more. And the elder was talking about how they have labs created to give Jake ED. All right, they have labs to give our people ED because it's black penis envy. They envy the black penis. All right, you go one more
Is
through an
is very
Edomite
interesting.
lens.
This video I'm about to show you is very interesting. I'll say this. I don't agree with every preposition that this man says just because it's coming from the position of white supremacy. So he only has a European framework, but he's telling you how they see reality, not how reality is. So you have to be able to have discernment to know that there is discontinuity in their worldview, how they view people, how they view reality, juxtaposed to how reality actually is. I'm going to tell you right up front, this is going to be a little bit of a long answer, but I promise you it is worth it. This is a history lesson with some brutal honesty, and I know what I'm talking about. I have a bachelor's in history, I have a master's in anthropology, I've done archaeology and historical work all across the Southeast, all right? And I speak the language of white supremacy. Here we go. Prior to the Emancipation Proclamation, white people didn't feel towards black people the same way that they do now. It wasn't what I would categorize as hatred as much as it was ambivalence. The type of ambivalence that you might feel towards an animal. Maybe not some of you, but think of a farmer, how he might feel towards the cattle that he is castrating and branding. Is that hatred? It's ambivalence. And the person next to him who may not even be a farmer, why would he feel hatred towards the farmer's cattle? You gotta remember, black people in this country were viewed as livestock. They were viewed as property. They were not treated or viewed as human in any sense. No right to vote, no right to own property, that couldn't read and write, branded, bred, skinned, sometimes eaten. But that ambivalence isn't
A lot of times eating. You get that book, the Delectable Negro. I got to get it myself. But they stopped eating our people in the 1970s. Yeah, ain't no telling they still eating us. That's hot, man. Come on now. You got to read between the lines with these devils.
enough of a motivator to get people to take up arms and go fight and die for a cause that is simply the cause of keeping black people enslaved. And I don't care what anybody fucking says, that is exactly what the states were fighting for the right to do. And it wasn't the states, it was the plantation owners. That's who's in power. Plantation owners were telling the states, the representatives, what to do. And in order to sell this to the public so they could raise an army, they needed to incite fear and hatred in an undereducated and impoverished white community in the South. And so they used preachers, just like they do now, to sell this to the public. They sold them fear because who better to give you a devil to hate than a Christian preacher? And so we have documented examples of this. Preachers across the South preaching to congregations that if black people were freed, they would rise up.
They did our own damn people. They made our own damn people preachers and all that stuff too. White Jesus. Come on now.
And revolt. They would burn down all the cities in the South. They would kill white people and rape white women. And when given a devil to feed, ignorant, undereducated.
And that's what Esau does: rape, rob, and destroy. So he was using projection to mold the people, but it's still perpetual hatred that they always done.
Poor white people will latch on to it. They will not only go and fight and die for that cause, they will pay you for the information. They will tithe the preacher, then go home, put on their boots, grab their rifle, and go out and die so that a plantation owner can continue to have free labor. That's how stupid my ancestors were. That's how stupid white people's ancestors were that fought in the Confederacy. And that's how they learned to hate. They learned to hate because plantation owners needed an army and politicians helped them with the preachers to sell a narrative of hate, to give them a devil to hate. And it permeates so much today that white people still won't go into black spaces, even if the party that's happening looks fun as shit. Let me give you an example of that. Every year, twice a year, HBCU teams have rivalry games at Lad People Stadium right here in Mobile, Alabama. And we love marching bands, and we love football, and we love Saturday nights in the fall under beautiful Alabama sky, but you will hardly find a white person in that place, despite the incredible food in the parking lot, the vibes and the dancing and the music inside, the world-class marching band music in the home of Mardi Gras, where we love marching bands so much that call the parades the Boom Boom. We name Mardi Gras after the bass drum and the marching band, and white people will not go to that event. Do you know why? Because they are fearful. That's where the devils are, in that stadium. That shit has permeated our subconscious.
It got me thinking they changed it, I believe, but when you go into the cake aisle, the white cake is angel food cake, and the chocolate cake is devil's food cake. So they programmed the people, but at the same time, it's Esau Edom's philosophies and stuff like that. They already had that perpetual hatred. They got that hatred.
So much that even when we're driving in a car 50 miles an hour down the road, if we see a black person on the street, somebody will lock the goddamn doors. I don't know where the new cars lock automatically, but you get my point. We were taught to hate you and to fear you, and some of us, most of us, are too fucking stupid to see that not only is that wrong, but it doesn't serve our well-being either. They're using us and taking advantage of both us and you, the black community. Hope that answers your question. This video I'm about to show you is very interesting. I'll say this. I don't agree with every
Check this out.
number for a second. I need you to sit with this number for a second. Raynard Johnson, Mississippi, 2000. Otis Bird, Mississippi, 2015. Lyndon Lacey, North Carolina, 2014. Trey Reed, Mississippi, 2025. Kyle Basinga, Georgia, 2026. Almost every single one of these cases ruled suicide. Some within days, some before a full investigation ever happened. Families reporting broken bones, bound hands, feet touching the ground, and still, case closed. One civil rights organization found at least 70 suspected modern-day lynchings across 7 southern states since 2000. Just in the Deep South, 20 of them in Mississippi alone. And we all know who's from Mississippi that just was found unalived. Nolan Wells. So I have to ask, if this were happening to any other group of Americans in this concentration, in this pattern, would the FBI still be sitting on the sidelines? We're told this is one of the hardest hate crimes to prove. Black people aren't tying nooses and hanging themselves to trees. Not to mention the broken bones, feet on the ground. How is this happening? This isn't about assuming every ruling is wrong. It's about asking why the pattern itself isn't the investigation. It's about asking why these families have to hire their own forensic pathologists just to get a second opinion on their own child's death, as in the Nolan Wells case. They're hiring someone to do the autopsy. Outside of Mississippi, black people in America have never been protected at the same standard as everyone else. This is just the latest proof. Say their names. Gerard Jackson, Tonae Miller, Juliana Nzita, Kai James, Denoris Richardson, Roy Veal, Clarence Otis Cole, Nick Naylor, Gregory Johnson, Frederick Jermaine Carter, Marco McMillan, Ben Cada, Philip Carroll, Sandra Bland, Willie Andrew Jones Jr., T.T. Gully, Malcolm Harsh, Dominic Alexander, Robert Fuller, Emmanuel
Yeah, but that shows you that the scriptures are speaking the truth. All right, more shameful spewing.
We firmly believe that Black Americans in this Jacob, wake up. We firmly believe that Black Americans in this country that descended from chattel slavery,
You can tell they don't have no full understanding because the Southern tribe is the of course Judah is here a lot. Southern tribe consists of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, but yeah, it's real.
the language. Jacob, wake up. We firmly believe that Black Americans in this country that descended from chattel slavery, you are the tribe of Judah. You are of Israel. We need you to wake up. We're pleading with you. We're here to take on the Gentiles and confront them. But we need the Yehudim to wake up to who they are, to their heritage, because the Edomite has systematically stripped it from you. Okay? Stripped the language, stripped the culture, stripped the faith, stripped the name of Yah, and we need you to come back. Jacob, wake up.
Psalms 83. All right, let's go to Obadiah chapter 10 through 16. Let's do this over. Obadiah chapter 10 or verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. And that's what you see today. It's getting more and more shame. That scene on Game of Thrones when the woman was walking around with shame. The woman that's sleeping with her brother. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou waste as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. All right. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of thy people in the day of their calamity. Yeah, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunken upon thy holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. All right. So yeah, that destruction is coming to Esau, Edom, man. No matter if anybody believes or not, prophecy is speaking. And the shame is getting more in depth with these Edomites. And blessed is the ones that can see it and hear it, roughly paraphrasing that verse. All right. This is a good time to see things, man. It's high time to wake up out of sleep and stay in pocket with the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. Because his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. 1,000, roughly paraphrasing. But with that, I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makahak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostle, great millstone, who rule well. Shalom to the elect. Until next time, shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.